Welcome. We are exploring steps for Vedic mathematics referencer. Today, our focus is to remain upon volume 5 and volume 6 together. We are taking up the initial features of both these volumes for the reason that value 5 and value 6 are interrelated, as that 5 is equal to 2 plus 3 and 6 is equal to 2 into 3. Further, as that the hypercube of 5 with its 4 space in the role of creative boundary will be dimensionalizing the outer space as 6 space enveloped within a transcendental boundary. It is this interrelationship which is to help us have proper appreciation of complementary and supplementary features of volume 5 and 6, and also it will provide us an insight to have the distinctiveness, to maintain distinctiveness of volume 5 from volume 6. Volume 5 will be having at its center Sutra Shunyam Samya Samuchya. So Shunyam is Shunya, a 0, is the central focus formulation. Samya means parallel, Sam means equal, and Uch means upwards, and Cha means the selection, the choice. So Shunyam Samya Samuchya is leading us to textual meaning, as that the parallel upward reach, say there is a common base and there is a parallel upward flow, or pushing or pulling something up or going against the gravity, say, then where there will be a zero gravity, then when both will come to a zero gravity state. So if the gravity is equal, if the push upward is equal, if the force upward is equal, then both will have a reach for a zero at the common height. This gives us a definition of parallel also. This will give us the definition of having equal Mayers as well. This will help us appreciate how the gravity zones are ultimately taking to the level where the gravity is of zero value and a Mayer. And it is here where we will also be face to face with as to what actually gravity means. In a creator's space, a 4 space, 5 space is having the role of an origin. Now 5 space has an origin. It is causing a pull. So gravity is there because of an origin. Let us have a pause here. Let us sit comfortably Let us permit the transcending mind to be parallel with this organizational setup of our solar universe as to how the center as origin, as seat of a higher dimensional order is causing a zones, this 5 space in the role of an origin of a 4 space will be creating a transcendental cavity here. Means within 4 space as a domain around the seat of an origin there will be a cavity, and this cavity, a transcendental cavity as it is called, 5 space, and it is enveloped within a creative boundary. So this whole, this gravity field as such is of the features which deserves to be chased for many features and values of our cosmos, of our space. Before that, we know that Hypercube 4, a 4 space body, is having 9 versions. A raised to power 4 is to 8a cube is the domain boundary ratio of Hypercube 4, the representative regular body of 4 space. Now a raised to power 4 is to 8p cube means 4 space is having 9 geometries range. Now these 9 versions of Hypercube 4 will be creating 9 distinct zones in the space, and each zone will be having its own gravitational field, its gravitational zone. So the Vedic systems avail this format as that we are having 9 planets and each planet is having its own orbit. Now it is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. Sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel with Vedic systems, in terms of which the outer space, the sky, the solar universe is chased in terms of the specific gravitational zones of each of the 9 planets. So the outer space and having distinct gravitational zones for 9 planets. These features, as these are, will be specifically the chase of mathematical domain of volume 5. In volume 5, the Upsutra Vestanam, which means the folds, how the space is having folds, and these make the gravitational zones for the planets. So Shunyam, Samya Samuchya and Vestanam together will help us lay proper foundation for the chase of the sky of 9 planets organization, and the mathematical format of this chase is going to be the focus of volume 5. In volume 6, we are having Sutra Anurupe, means pattern wise. These are 8 letters. Shunyam Antyam, these are 11 letters. Together these make 19, which is parallel to the value of a southern hemisphere. This organization of the outer space as gravitational zones is a phenomenon which will be available and which can be chased and which is being utilized for chase for the northern hemisphere as well as for the southern hemisphere. Therefore, the Sutra 5, Shunyam, Samme, Samuche is a setup of 20 letters. So, volume 5 will be of the organization of 20 letters, while the Sutra 6 is going to be a setup of 19 letters. Volume 5 and volume 6 will have a distinctive features, firstly in terms of value 5 and value 6, secondly in terms of value 20 and value 19 as the letters. A step ahead, we can reach at the TCV values of these formulations. Shunya is 18, while Shunyam is 19. So, 18 is the value which is of organization 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, which is parallel to the fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube of 5. So here we can have a pause and permit the mind to be parallel with this organization feature, that in volume 5 the focus is upon hypercube of 5, which is playing the role of an origin of a force space. Further, we know that the Samme, Samuche, when we are having an equal reach for the upward push at pair of points, then we know because of the equal gravity, the reach will be of equal height, means the gravitation will be 0. So how the gravitation is to be measured, how gravitational zones are to be fixed, how the rise is to be had within a particular gravitational zone, all these are going to be the features for which the mathematical foundation is available here in the formulation Shunyam Samme Samuche, and how Vestanam, the folds are being created. These folds, as these will be again, will help us distinguish the different planets' motions. When we are having a pattern Anurupe, the Anurupe is the formulation whose simple rendering could be of the same form, pattern, proportionality, symmetry. We can have a pause here and take note that the Sutra 1 as well is having this frame. And in Gita as well, we are having chapter 6, Adhyaya 6, being of 47 shlokas range equal to the shlokas of chapter 1. Now, this reach means at 6th we want to have again value 1, which would mean that we are working on a 6th place value system. So double digit numbers of 6th place value, which are 35 in number, are accommodated by grid 5 cross 7. So the transition, the interrelationship between volumes 5 and volume 6 as well deserve to be very specifically chase steps exercise. Now the other way, another feature which deserves to be appreciated here is that the 5 space body has a printout as Pentagon in 2 space, and 6 space body is having a printout as Hypercube 6 in plane. From the Pentagon, from each corner point, we can have a pair of internal diagonals. However, in a hexagon, from each corner point, we will be having as many as 3. There are triple internal diagonals. It is this feature which also will help us distinguish the mathematical domains of volume 5 and volume 6, and this further will also help us have a smooth transition, the interrelationship, a continuity of the mathematical chase of volume 5 and volume 6. Now, when we are having a pair of internal diagonals, then we'll see that these 10 internal diagonals will get superimposed because these will be available in pair of orientations. Now it is this pair of orientations and superimposition which will help us appreciate how some parallel and equal features are at work here and how these formats and features are to be weighed. Here we'll see that the outer pentagon is having inner pentagon, that the internal diagonals of pentagon are not intersecting. Once they are not intersecting, that would mean that the creative transcendental cavity of a 4 space will be having a flow of lines all around. So the value 0 will be invited by anurupe, shunyam anyat. We can bring back the 0, we can reach at the 0, we can reach at that cavity, at the periphery of the cavity, at each point where the gravity is 0. So once these peripheries of the cavities in a space being of equal gravity, being of a 0 gravity periphery of the cavity, it will create black zones. It will create the zones within which there cannot be a reach. So this cavity, because of the equal value for the gravity, particularly the 0 value, will create this cavity that there can't be reach within it. It is this cavity of the transcendental features, pentagon within pentagon, when is to be viewed step ahead in the context of Pentagon 6, then we'll see that when these triple diagonals from each of the corner points of hexagon are drawn, we'll see that from the center of the hexagon only triple internal diagonals will pass through. It is this feature which will help us appreciate as to how the gravitational organization of our solar universe is such that if we are having a periphery for a cavity of a zero gravitational values, or in other words, if we are having a circumference of a setup of a points of a zero values, and then at the other end as well, when we'll be having a same type of a cap, then in between there will be a scintillating in the form of the internal hexagon of the outer hexagon. Here we know the total diagonals will be 3 from each corner point. So there are 6 corner points. The total diagonals will be 18. With the superimposition of reversal of orientation, these would remain 9. And out of these 9, 3 will pass through the center and other 6 will remain outside of it. And it is this feature which is at work while there happens a scintillating chandas within the transcendental cavities. How churning takes place within the black zones of our solar universe is a point of attention for all the explorers of the solar universe. Our present day understanding, information, knowledge and modeling of the outer space deserves to be complemented and supplemented in terms of the Vedic knowledge, Vedic systems, Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences, Vedic technologies. This in simple terms would mean that we have to have a interrelationship, coordination, transition of 5 space and 6 space, and of the setup of the pentagon and hexagon of number values 5 and 6. All these features are the features which will be at work in both the volumes 5 and 6, but while we will be having a specific chase in volume 5 in terms of Ganita Sutra-5 and Ganita Sutra-5, and at the next step when we will be having a chase of volume 6 as mathematical domain of Ganita Sutra-6 and Ganita Sutra-6, then we have to be conscious about their distinguishing features. Many of the features are superimposed which are bound to be superimposed because of the compulsions of the internal polygons in respect of the outer polygons. Polygon 5 has internal polygon 5 that none of the internal diagonals passes through the center, and this is bound to happen ad infinitum. So outer polygon, internal of the internal polygon, and will continue, but center will eluding the chase by the diagonals. The internal diagonals of the pentagon, despite infinite ad infinitum chase steps, will find that center is eluding. In respect of hexagon, we'll see that 1 and 2 ratio is going to be for the diagonals having a reach at the center, and diagonals which still feel elusive for the reach at the center. These features are to be chased in terms of the formulations group, which is of TC value 15, and it is parallel to the dimensional frame, the solid dimensional frame of 5 space, and formulation creation, which is of value equal to the value of the southern hemisphere, and here creation has also one of the meanings as a black. So how the black matter, the black holes are behaving, how black holes of our solar universe are to be chased, what is going to be the mathematical format for the chase of the black holes, and it is this way that we will be finding that ultimately we will be having a peripheral folds of equal gravitational zones. So it is going to be a surface, a spatial boundary. It is this spatial boundary feature which is of central focus as compared to linear boundary, like a circumference we call. And the next stage will be that we will be having a spatial boundary. It is here where we shall have a pause and take note that our present day axioms, modern mathematics axioms, are placing us in a situation that hypercircles 1 to 7 increase and hypercircle 8 onwards go on decreasing. The Vedic systems, the Vedic knowledge, the Vedas, are organized by Maharishi Ved Vyas, and there are as many as 28 transcendental designations of Maharishi Ved Vyas. These are 28 formulations. This is that we can, with a transition from a linear order 3 space setup to spatial order 4 space setup, have a sequential increase up till 28 steps. Hypercircles means increase only up till 7 steps, and the Vedic systems take up the increase up till 28 steps, and it is here 28 which is the value of a Brahm, and the value 28 is equal to sigma n 1 to 7, and we know that value 28 is such a value that if we have a range of values 1 to 28, then its factors will be 56, precisely double of 28. So the values range 1 to 28 will give rise to 56, and 56 is the value which is equal to the 7 geometries of each of the 8 components. It is here where we will have a proper hint as to how the 8-fold solid boundary providing us 56 geometries range. So these 56 formats deserve to be chased if we want to explore the universe the Vedic way. Thank you very much.